What happened with you?
Um, I was 17 in high school. See, stop it, then.
It's okay.
I, I was 17 in high school, maybe about 16, I want to say. And I started dating this guy. He was maybe a couple of years older than me. And on the front part of it, he seemed like he was okay. He seemed like he had a good upbringing. You know, his mother was cool and everything. And behind the scenes, he was mentally and emotionally and physically abusive. So he would
Mm.
buy me stuff, and he would come up to my school. He would make scenes like take your shoes off,
Oh
take the
wow.
jacket I bought you, take this off. And then I was that strong person where I was like, fuck, I don't need this. Like I don't need it. I took the shoes off. I would get on the train with my socks. I don't care. I get in the cab. Because at this time I've always had extra money on me. I've always had something. Hush girl. I've always had I've always had extra money on me because my mother always told me you never know what's gonna happen while you're in school. You don't know if
Yeah.
there's gonna be a fire drill. You may need something, so you always keep an extra couple of dollars on you just in case something happened. Um, and further along the relationship, he made it seem like he was such a cool dude around my family. And when it got
Hmm.
just me and him, he would do like punch me in my stomach. I actually got pregnant by him at the age of 17, and my mother and I went and had an abortion. And I'm kind of glad I did that because it didn't pan out. He wasn't the type of person that he was. He was already married. He already had a whole family.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so when he found out that I was pregnant, he tried everything under the sun to, have me make me have a miscarriage,
Mhm.
basically. Punch me in my stomach, kick me. Um, we fought in between the doors in my apartment. My mother didn't know none of this because I didn't know how to come to her and tell her that at a young age.
Wow.
Because you think you know everything and you want to be grown, and I just didn't know how to open up and tell her that. Even though I probably could have came and told her, but I told her as I got older. So when I got older and
You
had my
got
own,
two girls on here that were
mhm.
thinking that they were supposed to personify strength and too afraid to demonstrate weakness.
Yeah, and both of those girls are my daughters. That's my Loretta is my daughter also.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
a lot
good.
of stuff, I didn't know because they know me. I totally would spaz out.
And they want to
When
protect you too. Well,
yeah,
and when I share mine at the end, I have a very similar story. I just want to point out the things, and it's not because I'm a specialist, and I want to say that I'm not a specialist. I'm not a counselor of any. I've just when you've gone through and come through, then you just you kind of know the footprints, the signs, the
yeah.
symptoms.
Mm,
Um,
You're gonna hit
how
yourself.
long
okay.
did you go through that, Larita?
I'll say not even maybe a year. I'll say a year and some change because after I had the abortion, I just stopped talking to him. I stopped associating myself with him. I actually disconnected myself from him. Only thing that really connected me back was his mother passed away,
Yeah.
and I really didn't get a chance to talk to her like I wanted to. But me and her had a totally different relationship from what me and him had.
So I do have a question. Do you see yourself in similar relationships, or have you changed the energy you put out so that you draw what you want in?
I'll be honest. The last relationship I was in, it lasted for a good 8 years. With this
Mm,
young guy, he was a liar. Basically, he told me he was one age and was totally different age, and here I am, 25, going on 26, and you ain't even 19, and and I dealt with him for 8 years, and I had to go through the motions with him, in and out of
yeah, because
jail.
you
He
grow
want to
up.
sell drugs. He want to do this, that, and the third, and I wasn't having it at that
Yeah.
time because of what I went through when I was 17. I
Yeah.
wasn't with it. So
Oh,
I said, bring it, come with it if you're gonna come with it. So
mm.
I one day I yoked him up in my living room, and I had him choked up hanging on a wall, and I told his mother, if you want him, you better come and get him, because I'm over it. And I said, because that mental, because people try to make you feel bad. And
Yeah.
at this point in time, you can't make me feel bad. I got a son of my own, and I don't want my children to go through what I'm going through. So I'm going to try to prevent them from going through what I
Don't
went through.
protect them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to get rid of that one. So when I moved here, I started dating this older guy, and here I am. I think I was about 30 something, and he's like 49.
Mhm.
Right now I have 3 children by him. We
Oh,
still
okay.
we still doing it, but it took me a minute to get where I'm at right now. because I'm not
That
gonna
is a
allow
blessing.
people to tell me what they want me to tell me, and then I'm gonna just swing with it. Like I'm just gonna say,
Correct.
okay, that's what you want me to do. That's good. No, you got to come with it. When you coming at me, you got to come correct this time. And I'm to the point where now, because I dealt with so much, I'm not taking crap from nobody.
That's
Right.
where
So
I wanted to
he
see.
came along and I stayed with him in his house because my mother was like, "You're not going with us to the hotel." And I wanted to really go, and I had a baby, and she said, "No, the baby not coming in here with us." I said, "Okay, fine." So I went with him, and I stayed in his house for a couple of years. And he came out of his space one day and said, "You're not helping me." Woo! When
Mm.
he said that, I think I flashed a little bit. So I grabbed some garbage bags. I threw all my stuff in the garbage bag, and I told my mother, "Give me some room in that storage." I put all my stuff in
Okay.
storage. Took my two babies. We went to a single woman shelter, a
Oh
30-day
wow.
shelter. And I said, "You know what, MFA, I'm gonna help myself right about now. Watch this." So I said, "I'm
Okay.
gonna show you better than I can tell you."
I know
So
that's
when I
right.
went to that 30-day shelter and got my place where I'm at right now, everybody want to be my friend. Now you want to talk to me and then stuff like that. Because when you start making changes and you start growing, people don't want to see you grow.
You're
They
right.
want
That's
to
why they
stay you.
remind you
They
of who
want,
you
they
were.
want you to sit where you want to. What they want you to sit you at. No, that's not me.
All
So it
right.
took us a minute. I think I kicked them out maybe 2 or 3 times. And then the last time, my mother called him and said, "You need to get it together." She said,
I
"Because
know
these
that's
babies in
right.
my house picking up my bed, I can't." She said, "Nope." She said, "Y'all go figure it out."
I know
I
that's
think.
right.
And then my daughter came. So I'm good now. I'm
That's
okay.
a blessing. So Keita, um, so we're going around the room, and you're next. Tell us about, because we all raised our hands, and I know it's hard, but let's talk about what your situation was like.
Go to sleep.
Well, I was dating this guy,
Oh,
and
before, so if you guys have background noise, if you could just go mute, that way we can hear. And then if you want to ask questions to Keita or anybody, then come back on. Go ahead.
so I was dating this guy. Um, I won't say who he is. I'll leave that. And it was at first it became mental. He didn't want me to wear certain clothing. Um, I couldn't wear lip gloss. Every time I spoke to a guy, I was flirting with them. Um, and it was like me being me. Who you think you're talking to? You're not gonna tell me not to wear this. So I'm always mouthing back. And we had been together for probably 3 or 4 years before he actually became physical. Um,
So was that 3 or 4 years of no other or just mental
it was
abuse?
just arguing and him trying to control me to
And
tell
then
me
you
what I can't.
talking back to him and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like
So
that. So it's
it was
back and
it
forth.
was back
Okay.
and forth. And then one day we was in his car. I found out I was pregnant, and I found out he was cheating. And I was like, "Well, I'm pregnant." And he was like, "Well, I don't want a baby." I said, "Well, it's not really your decision. I'm not gonna kill my baby for you." And so, he was upset or whatever. But then I was like, "So you're sitting over here at your mom's house with this girl, and I'm telling you I'm pregnant, and you're just like, you don't care." So as we're driving, he reaches over and he tries to hit me because I'm cursing him out. And he tries to hit me, but he didn't hit me, so we swerved. And I've always grown up. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. I don't care who you is, male, female, and that was our problem. So when he tried to hit me, I punched him in the mouth while he was driving. So we pulled over and we literally got out the car. And I had just found out I was pregnant. I was probably 6 weeks, and we got out the car and I fought him on the side of the road.
Wow.
That was the first time, but it was not the last time.
Mm.
It was many things. He would do things for other women, but when I asked him to do something for me, it became an issue. Oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, I honestly, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. Being friends and cheating on him with another man is what gave me the strength. And the fact that when my daughter looked at me and said, "Mommy, I hate him.
Mm.
I don't want to be here. He's going to hurt you. He's going to hurt me." That gave me the strength to start the process to leave him. And we were together for 8 years. So for at least 4 years, I took, 8 years I took mental abuse. But for at least 4 years, I took physical abuse. I didn't even talk to Cricket. She never knew any of this. I never told anyone. My family never knew until the last time when he tried to choke me to death. And my daughter called the police and she called my father. And my father came wanting to kill him because he put his hands on me. My father was so upset with me because I never told anybody. And I didn't tell anyone because I felt like I was fighting back. I wasn't just taking the hits. I wasn't taking the abuse, So I felt like I'm not those women that you see on TV who's just letting their boyfriend just beat their ass for no reason. Like I was fighting back. So I felt like because I was doing that, I was doing the right thing, that I didn't have to tell anyone. So I suffered in silence for a very long time. And the only people who knew was my children. And my daughter was just like, Mommy, I don't want to be here. She said, I hate him. And I left. And since then, that was the first and only man who has ever laid hands on me. And I'm thankful for that I've got enough strength to not deal with it anymore and not put up with it. But I look at people that I know that goes through it, and I have people that I talk to that don't admit that they go through it, but I know the signs because I was them. And I tell them all the time, you don't have to be there. You can always leave. There's always better. I never give a man power to make him feel like he controls me and that I cannot make it on my own. I've left, and I think I left him in 2012 and I've never looked back. And I'm happy. So
I'm glad you got the strength.
Yeah, that's my first time hearing that story. I'm sorry. That's
I have.
my bestie, and I ride like I'm her mom. So
Is it okay if I said something at this point?
Sure.
When you were talking, all I could see was the conversation I wish that I would have had with my mom. When you said that your daughter told you that she hated him, that was your turning point. I wish that was my mom's turning point. If that makes sense. And I'm so sorry, but I am so proud of you for being so strong. And I'm not saying that my mother wasn't strong, but my mother had mental issues as well. And I always felt like I was the one that had to be there to protect her from herself.
Right. I mean, and I'm like you too, Serena. I've witnessed my mother go through domestic violence. I've seen it, and even in high school, I had a friend that went through it. And the minute that I tried to jump in it, she got mad with me. She stopped talking to me. And I mean, I know y'all see me looking on my phone, but I'm looking at my phone because I was looking at a statistic. And it said that there is at least 1.5 million high school students that goes through physical domestic violence. That is not good to say that we have children. You
imitating life.
Right. You're letting a man or a woman who is not your mother or father put their hands on you. That's not right.
And what do you think they learn it from?
They learn it from home.
So when you're wondering what your kids are doing with the fact that they watch you get beaten, and they're watching you get being yelled at and screamed at, they're reproducing it.
Right, because they think that's
school because they think it's normal.
Yeah, they're
normal now.
And it's not. So that was another reason why I have two daughters and a son. And I never wanted my children to grow up. I didn't want my girls growing up thinking it was okay for a man to put their hands on them. And I didn't want my son growing up thinking it's okay for him to put his hands on a woman. My son is 12 years old, and I tell him now, you got a problem with him? You got two older sisters and a mama who's willing to beat their behind, who don't care. Yeah. So if I tell them, you don't put your hand on a woman. And I tell my girls, if you have a problem, you call your brother. That's what your brother is for.
Yeah.
Your brother is here to protect you. My son is Like Charlene said, my son is 12 and my son is 5'4", 190 pounds. Okay, so I
Wow.
got a big boy as well. So he plays
Mhm.
football, so he don't mind knocking you down.
Well, and then we want to also keep our kids safe. Don't put them in situations where they have to protect. Because I've seen it where domestic violence goes the opposite way, and the kid that is protecting mommy or sissy or whatever is now shot and killed, and you can't get him back. So
Right.
uh, as alpha females, and we have a call filled with alpha females, we all did it wrong because we thought strength was fighting back
Right.
when the strength is walking away. We were never
Yes.
taught when we were kids to walk away from a fight. If somebody hits you, you hit them back. If they bullying you, you go back at them.
Right.
Everyone on this call was told that. And now
Yes.
we're in real life, and you have to understand we were told wrong.
You have to
Right.
walk
We
Yeah.
away.
were wrong. The
But you
strongest thing
know,
you can do is walk away and protect
yep.
yours.
You know what? If someone hit them back. In a way, that's what saved my life and my situation.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, it's something about the car that make them get that courage to feel like they can just hit you or
Mm,
try to kill you. We was
mm,
in we was in my car. This was the last and final straw. And
yeah.
it's not even like I made the decision to leave. Heck, I didn't have any choice.
Yeah.
I really didn't have any choice. I went, picked him up from work. His mother made sure I picked him up from work. His sister snuck over to the house, took the baby while I was gone. They planned this whole thing to take me out.
Wow.
But guess what? The Brooklyn
All
came out of
family.
me because I was not
All
playing with
family.
him. We was riding along this little street called Colfax, super busy, like 3 lanes, I think it is. It runs through the heart of Colorado, through the downtown Denver,
Mm,
all the way to the other side of Denver. So he punched me in my face. And me not even thinking, like, we in the car, I punched him back in his face, like, don't hit me. Keep your
yeah.
hands to yourself.
Yeah.
I started recording from there. It was all bad because my husband is like 5'8",
Mm-hmm.
maybe 300 pounds because he's a really fat dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he just grabbed my neck. They always go for your neck. He just
Mm-hmm.
went for my neck
Your neck or
and then
your
just put his pressure on my neck. So he's driving with one hand and things happen so fast. I'm telling you, it's a lot of things that I could have did different, with this whole situation would have been different, but my mind was going. So
yeah.
when he put his pressure into my neck, I couldn't move. He was able to pull over into a vacant lot and put his thumb down in my trachea to keep me from
Wow.
screaming. I'm telling you, when somebody grab you by your throat, all
Correct.
you do is try to get their hand off of your throat.
Yeah.
So I just proceeded to put my hand over his hand, trying to get him off of my throat. But he put his pressure into it and then stuck his thumb down in my trachea. So when I
Wow.
was trying to scream, no words was coming out.
Yeah.
And I could not get free.
Yes.
But God told me, I'm telling you, it was only him, because all I seen was clouds and bubbles because I started to lose consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oxygen.
grabbed the handle of the door and pulled it, and he's got like a little gut, so it gave me enough room between us where I can get his hand from around my neck.
Yeah.
I was able to swing my feet around and kick him in his face
Yes.
because I wasn't going out like that.
Right.
And
All I
so
could think about was my children, my family. What would they do? Who's
without
going to find me in this vacant lot? Like, what the hell is happening in my life right now?
yeah.
It seemed like a lot of minutes go by, but I swear it's only seconds. I was
When
able to swing my feet
I
around,
say
kick
don't
him.
fight, Charlene,
Man,
it doesn't mean don't fight back. By all means, you have to get free. But what I
you got
mean
to
is
get free.
when you get the opportunity, instead of having when you see the conversations going to where it's going to be physical, you know what? I'm out.
I
That's
ain't
what I'm
even
doing.
see. I ain't even see the
See, that was a
fist
different
coming.
situation you were in.
Yeah,
That
I
was
didn't even
different.
see it. I didn't even see it. I was Stevie Wonder. I didn't even see it coming.
No, let me tell you.
It
Okay,
came
so
so fast. But
so
he had me. I'm telling y'all, he had me. But by the grace of God, I got his hands from around my neck and I was able to fight him back. He
correct.
got out of the car, y'all. He got out of the car, came around to the side that I was in, and proceeded to try to choke me. I
Wow.
was fighting him with every ounce of power that I had.
Yes.
Instead of
Wow.
me just lock the doors, roll up the windows, he couldn't get in, but I knew he had a gun. So I said, what if he shoot through the window? All kind of stuff was going through my
Coming through
mind, you know?
yeah, your mind.
He
Yeah.
tried to drag me out of the car and pull me in the vacant lot. I was like, oh no, you won't get space and opportunity. I'm gonna keep you in this little car. You too big to try to get the best of me in this little
Wow.
car. He dragged
Oh,
me out of the car. I got back in the car with him, y'all. I was free to go. I got back in the car and was fighting him again. He just hit the gas pedal. We gunned it for about 4 blocks, nonstop. He didn't stop at no stop sign, just gone. And then
Still
he
trying to kill you.
he like pulled over near the stop sign, came back around. I still did not lock the doors, y'all. Came back around, tried to drag me out again. I was fighting him again. He finally got me out of the car. He threw me out on the sidewalk and then tried to run me over with the car.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
While the whole time my phone was on record. No, at this time I had stopped recording and I was on the phone with the police.
Yeah.
I called the cops, like in all this little bit of time, I did all of this.
Wow.
And then he tried to run me over with the car. By the grace of God, this white dude was driving by on his bicycle. And he was like, hey, dude, leave her alone. Don't be treating her like that, you know? And then this white lady and her husband pulled up and they was trying to help me too.
Wow.
So I just said, you know what? I don't want to get these people involved in this situation. He threw me out of the car. I'm on the sidewalk, no shoes, no phone, no nada. He turned around and came back and threw my phone out of the car at me. That was the best, stupidest shit he could have ever did. Excuse me.
No, you good because that was your turning point. That was
it.
your turning point.
I was standing on that sidewalk. First of all, I really didn't know where I was at because I don't really know Colorado too good. I'm somewhat familiar with Colorado. I've been here long enough, but I didn't know where I was at. But this lady was like, use my phone, call your mom. But you know what? In my phone, mom number is mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know numbers, y'all. I did not know. I had to memorize my mother's phone number because everybody is names in your phone. You know, you just scroll through the phone. You don't got to look for a phone number. I did not know my own mom's phone number.
No, and then you're going through a stressful situation where you can't like drawing blanks. You can't think. You don't know what to do next. You know, your adrenaline is running. Yeah.
He really tried to run me over with the car. But you know what? Something told me to pull my feet and roll my body onto the sidewalk because he was gonna try some dumb junk.
Yeah. So I'm glad you were able to escape that situation. And it is crazy.
I press charges. I'm ready. We got a jury trial
because you're gonna stop someone else from having to go through that same type of situation.
And I talk to these young girls all the time, and you will be surprised how young these girls are, and their boyfriends are beating them up
because that's their normal. That's what they see their daddies do. That's what they see their uncles do. If you got to control her, you got to make her behave, and that's the thought process behind making them behave. You have a lot of men that are reared by women, and we tend to coddle our men and not teach them. You don't put your hands on a woman. You do not put your hands on a woman.
At
you
all.
Defend yourself, you walk away, you do not put your hands on a woman. Because you will always be my